Alright, we're back with another lot of games from the league happening at my local game store or local game garage because all these games take place in a garage. So, first up in round one, I had a buy, so I was just watching and learning maybe because we have another Rye versus Lorraine matchup, which is very difficult. Lorraine has a lot of tools in her deck that just makes life very sad for a Rye player. Mostly the spell that can prevent damage, bounce allies back to the hand, um, and just the fact that they have a lot of allies and yeah, the Rye deck, it has some removal, but for how many allies that Lorraine is playing, it's difficult. And one of the most difficult allies is on the board now, the Weaponsmith. Unfortunately, relatively difficult to remove at 3 life, and it can give the Lorraine player more durability on the weapons. So yeah, it's not great. And then of course, my friend John there played the Crusader of Aria or something. It's a 2/4. Yeah, not not great. And of course, Alex on the left with the Everything Sideways playmat played his Magus Disciple straight away, so he didn't get the on death effect, letting him draw another card. He's got Library Witch out now. And let's see here. So we kind of want to just maybe skip ahead a little bit through this game. Let's see. John is leveling up. He gets out a weapon that gives his Weaponsmith a +1 attack pump until end of turn. And let's see. Oh, yeah, so he removes the witch. And of course swings in for the damage. And if you're wondering why he took 3 damage there, John decided to move the buff onto the other unit, which, we weren't too fussed about. And oh god, and of course down comes the Bannerknight, also a very powerful unit and also quite difficult to remove at 3 hit points for the Rye deck if you just don't have the right cards. Because of course when the Lorraine player gets to level 2, the Bannerknight will give everything +1 attack power. Okay, so we'll just whiz on through, but of course, if you look, right, already on 8, yeah, not looking great. He had the Focus Flames to take out the Weaponsmith. Oh, and right. Any case, things are not looking too good. He removed the Weaponsmith. Like I was arguing at the time that he should have removed the Bannerknight, but in this situation, it's like it's already not looking good for Ryan in any case. So yeah. And we zip ahead. Everybody is thinking. Nobody is playing anything. Let's give it some more. Oh, of course, yeah, he attacked and passed it back to our Rye player. And he plays another Magus Disciple. And let's see, what is the Lorraine player going to do? It drops down a whole lot more allies. Yep, it's not great. Not great at all. Hits him to 16 of 22 HP. Yeah. And passes it back to Rye. Yeah, it's pretty clear to see that this is not going to work out for Rye. So he levels up again, and basically, Lorraine has enough damage on the board now to just finish the game for the first round. Of course, he's planning to completely overkill. Yeah, it was massive damage. Any case, their second round, their second game. And of course, the right player decides to let the Lorraine player go first. And Lorraine has a very good start at troughing these two 1-2 floating memory guys straight onto the board. Which, yeah, it's not great. That's not what we want to see. But of course, yeah, Barrier Servant comes down. For our right player, I think I was arguing in the background that he should have attacked and just taken out one of these guys. I guess yeah, could have actually no. Yeah, it probably was right to not take one of them out because it would have given him floating memory, which he could have used to level up. So better to let him get rid of a card from his memory to at least soften that. Although, of course, he gets the greatsword weapon out, which gave his 1-2 a +1 attack buff, which allowed it to take out the 2-2 Barrier Servant. And of course, down comes the Crusader, and Ari gets 1 damage in against Rai. And just gonna zip head here. Oh yeah, Creative Shock. Draw 2, discard 1, deal 2 damage to something. Picks off the other 1-2. And oh wait, what happened there? Oh, he plays the spell that I think does like 3 damage? Something like that? Oh no, I think it gets extra damage if I think he has like 1 card in his memory. So I think it does like 5 or something. It's, yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember what it does, aside from a lot of damage. Anyway, let's see. Not a lot happening here. Especially Rai did basically nothing on his turn. This is a big attack for how much? 5 damage by the looks of things. Ouch, and then another 2 from the Crusader. It's, as you can see, this is a very clear example of why the Lorraine versus Rai matchup is so difficult. That Lorraine can pump out a lot of damage in the low levels, whereas with Rai you need to get to the high levels to be able to really dish out the punishment. And yeah, that's what generally, and from what I've seen so far, is what's going on in our league. It's very hard for Rai to survive to the high levels with enough cards to do stuff in the end game. It is strange. Oh, look at that. Lorraine played a whole bunch of allies. And this is unfortunate. Rai had to use 2 fireballs to pick off some of these units. Which, yeah, it's hard because Lorraine does have a lot of burst with some of the cards that it has, so you really don't want to be taking too much chip damage, but at the same time as Rai you kind of want to keep your fireballs until later on, because they can be a very good source of damage for closing out the game, especially in this sort of matchup where Lorraine can easily pick off allies. So getting chip damage in against Lorraine is it's just hard. It's very, very difficult. So here comes another fireball, and Lorraine player uses the spell to bounce the guy back to his hand so he can play it again and then attack. Oof. Yeah. You can probably see where this game is going, and ultimately the round is gonna go to Lorraine, because here comes another 5 with a weapon, and yeah, But good games all around.